Hey guys, what's going on?
Hi, welcome again to another fabulous video that we're gonna be shooting for you guys today. And I just a reminder, this is the first time that you're here with us in our channel and becoming part of our community. Hopefully you do. I am Leica.
And I'm Leggy.
And we welcome you again to one of our videos. This time we are gonna be talking about something similar on one of our previous videos that we did. A couple of weeks ago, we launched a video regarding domestic travel within the US during the COVID time, and what were the challenges and new things that were happening while you were inland or up in the air while you traveled until you got back to caught a car, let's say, from the both destinations. So today, we also wanted to share with you the experience of traveling to an international country.
Yes.
In this case, as you guys probably were aware, and you saw some of the stories and fun things happening. Leggy just took a vacation to Mexico, Puerto Vallarta, right?
Puerto Vallarta.
Puerto Vallarta. And then she's gonna just, kind of walk us through also what was her experience. Different from mine a little bit also. She did a family trip. I traveled by myself. So that also is gonna come into place. How do you travel with kids during COVID time, whether it's an essential trip or you wanna just go on vacation and not wait for next year, especially now that the holidays are approaching. And a lot of people are thinking, it's a big season for traveling.
Yes.
Thanksgiving, the holidays in December. So do I go? Do I stay home? Do I take the kids? Do I not take the kids? Which usually you do because it's family time.
Yeah.
So it probably and hopefully will answer a lot of questions for some of you who has a little bit of doubts on booking that flight or not. And what are the positive things, the not so positive things that she experimented, and what you should be aware of and looking forward to. So I get to ask questions this time. Let's not wait any more time and let's kicking it, and let's just start the experience. So Leggy traveled out of Phoenix,
Yes.
which is the airport here in Arizona, to Puerto Vallarta, which was her final destination. So tell us, and start telling us what was the atmosphere and what was the two questions in one. One, first, how did you prep before arriving to the airport for the kids? And two, once you got there through the main doors, how the atmosphere looked like?
Good questions. Well, as majority, if not all of the world, I needed a mental break from this whole COVID thing because it can get to you. I was not at any breaking point or anything like that, but I just wanted something. I just wanted to be kind of back to what it was before COVID, in the sense of let's just go on a trip, right? My husband is not as adventurous as to let's go drive around the country. So that's another reason why his really main inspiration is let's just go to the beach and stuff. So in Arizona, we are not really close to any areas, beach areas. So that's a bit of an issue because we love the beach. So I gather as much information as I could as far as what are the requirements at Mexico, because there are only certain countries in the world that will allow at the current time, and that continues to change, of course, every day, but at the current time that allows United States passport holders, just Americans, to go in without needing a COVID test, at least right on the spot or right arriving before. There's not as many restrictions as far as traveling. But of course, they do take precautions. So if you've checked yes to any of the COVID questions, they ask you not to travel, not to go there. If you do, and you still travel, you have to quarantine. They track that too. But we'll get into that later. So that's how I got prepared for that.
Okay.
And then the next thing for us was, do we take the kids or do we go alone? So our kids, like many kids, they love the beach, and we wanted to take them because they also needed another mental break for that. It was important for us that they are part of it and they do that. And I did all the prayers I could do so that my now 3-year-old will follow all of the requirements, meaning she had to keep her mask on at all times. All of the airlines need to have everyone who's over 2 years old to have a mask on. There's no exceptions on that unless, you know, you are under 2. That's the only exception. And then I prep her for that as much as possible. I kind of threaten her by telling her, hey, if you don't do this, the minute we get in the airport, you're gonna turn around, you're gonna go with grandpa, and you're not coming with us. Because, you know, also, yeah, but also I wanted to go, but, you know, luckily for us, we have grandparents that are able to keep the kids if they don't want to go for whatever reason. And then to our now 7-year-old, we told him, hey, here's what you got to do. You got to wear your mask at all times. You can't touch stuff. And you have to follow all the guidelines. Don't be touching, don't be getting close to people, don't be doing all that stuff. And don't put your hands on your face, and let's wash your hands as much as possible. So that's exactly what we did.
Yeah, it's kind of like the same protocol that we've been following since the whole COVID, and we started learning about how to avoid it and how to keep ourselves safe. So in a way, like, you know, we've been training the kids since, I mean, whether you're planning to travel or not, you just reinforce a little bit more. If you're gonna travel, reminding them like, this is what you do, this is what you don't do, and you know, and that's it. Yeah.
So I did all of that. To pack, my husband and I pack everybody's vitamins, everybody's stuff first before our bathing suits. So we pack everything ready to keep our regime that we're keeping here. So your vitamin C, your everything stuff, we pack it to take it to go for those days. We went for a week. So we pack it for that, and we pack extra masks. Now, one quick thing is, it is on airlines, at least we flew American Airlines, so at least that airline has it. I don't know about the other airlines. You cannot fly with the mask that has the filter round thing here. They tell you right before boarding, when they're checking your boarding passes, hey, you cannot use those masks, you need to use another mask. Why? I have no idea, but just so you know, if you go, try to pack a few masks, 2 or 3, just in case your one plan doesn't work, then you have another one and you're not like having a heart attack. But it is in their website. I did check way before, so I was prepared. I knew that was one of the requirements. So that was how we prepare. And if you guys have any questions or anything else, if I missed anything, if you wanted a curiosity, just feel free to ask in the comments below for the video. Then getting to the Phoenix airport, we get there normal, we put our masks, everything, we go. Guys, when I traveled a few weeks before I did, I don't know what happened between those weeks, but it was like getting full house. Oh yes, I did a few shots there while I was at the airport. I tried as much as possible, but between juggling the 2 kids, the husband, making sure they're not touching stuff, it's kind of hard to video and doing that for me. And but yes, there are people traveling. There are shops that are already open. When you travel, shops weren't open. Sorry, we're shooting outside and I keep like, there's like a bug flying here. So their shops are open, coffee shops, restaurants, things are open. They're happening. People are sitting down, they're eating. I have to say, there are signs for social distancing, the reminders, everything. People have their masks on unless you're eating or drinking something. But I felt it wasn't enough social distancing. It didn't freak me out or anything. It didn't scare me. But if we're following guidelines, I think it was kind of hard at the airport to follow guidelines. I did not see this at the Phoenix airport, but the airport in Puerto Vallarta had it. And at the Phoenix airport, I didn't notice, maybe there were, maybe there weren't, but I didn't notice any seats that say, do not sit in the seat, keep your distance.
Because at Kennedy, they do have it.
So at Puerto Vallarta, they do have it. They actually skip 2 seats and then they sit. So you have a seat, skip 2, and then the next seat. So I saw that over at that area of Mexico when we were. I failed to see it at the Phoenix airport, but we sat on a few and they didn't have any. So I don't know if some sections have it or some sections don't. If you've traveled in Phoenix and you've seen it, comment below. Let me know if I missed it or not. But everything is kind of, everybody's like sick of I guess, being at home.
And that's what I was gonna
That's what I
say.
felt.
I was gonna say that, you know, like 2 weeks makes a big difference instead of decision making, and when people are planning to travel. It has to do probably the fact that when you travel was like after school started, so people felt more safe
Probably.
because they know teachers and students, and most of the parents have to be home because of the online learning.
Yeah,
So
probably.
they felt like, you know what, if I'm gonna travel, it's the perfect time because it will be less people out. But I guess everybody
She's
had
all
the
less
same
people.
idea.
Yeah.
I guess everybody had the same idea at the same time.
Yeah.
And then also, like you said, like it could be also like people like just needed a mental break and they're just
Yeah.
getting tired, just being home and being, you know, like cooped at home or locked down or whatever the situation is. It depends on the city where you live. There are cities that they have literally lockdowns since we started this whole pandemic. It's been putting a lot of stress and too much pressure on us.
Yeah.
So people are probably like, you know what? I'm just gonna take my precautions, put my mask, take my vitamins, stay away from everybody, and go on my trip.
So
So
we're
at least,
trying.
you know, for a week, have for a long weekend, for whatever that is.
Yeah.
And that was great that they opened the shops too, because you know that also
I guess.
bring a little bit things to normal. For me, it was very sad to see everything shut down.
Yeah. Well, now you wouldn't be sad because now things are open.
Yes, we're not.
So we did that, and it's very similar to what Leica experienced a few weeks ago, and on the other video she mentioned. You're doing kiosk check-in, so you get your boarding pass, all your stuff. If you're checking in the luggage, you get your luggage ticket pretty much like you did before. But this time they have opened more kiosks,
Yes.
more machine where you check in and stuff. So you do that, and you go to the counter and you drop off your bags. You go to TSA. It was pretty easy too. I want to say, I don't know percentages that well, but I want to say the airport at the time we flew was probably running on maybe a 60% capacity, which is crowded. So, you know, compared to before when she
Right.
saw it and you saw the video of JFK or the pictures we put in the other video. But anyways, so we went through TSA. It was super simple. There were like 5 TSA officers working, checking everyone in. So that also sped up to not wait so much online to get your passport double checked, make sure you're the person in the passport, and then pass through the machines at TSA. So that was super easy, super simple, very smooth. We did that. And that's when we walked through our gate and we saw all that stuff. So we went in. When you go in the plane, so you're walking in the plane, they start calling you by groups, and there are people standing up, waiting for their group number to be called.
Right.
But most are keeping their distance, and they're not making like a bunch there. So they're respecting, hey, you're group 6, group 5, group 7, whatever
Right.
it is. And they're like, okay, yeah, go ahead. So they check your stuff, and then we checked in. The flight was full.
Wow.
That was interesting. I was like, so we are 4, as you know, in my family. And I sat in the one row with my kids, and my husband sat right behind me. Next to him, there were 2 people. Those people were traveling together, like the 2, it was like a couple, and then it was him. And I found that super interesting.
But they didn't leave the middle seat.
The flight was full.
Wow.
And real quick, the flight of return was full as well. I'll show you a picture of that. But the flight to go was completely full. And just like you, when you come into the plane, you have the flight attendant. Everybody has their mask. Everybody needs to have their mask the minute they start going. The minute you go to the airport, but literally the minute you go into the plane, you have to have your mask on. And she hands you the bag. It's a clear bag with a little bit of water, a small water, a cracker in our case, and a hand sanitizer thing for that. And they say, thank you for coming. Go find your seat. Sit down. So she was pretty nice though. And you go, you find your seat, and you sit down. That's what you have. It is on the airline's website, at least American Airlines. I saw that before flying, that they will not do services, like I said on the previous video. No services whatsoever of food and beverage and stuff. They do pass a lot down the aisles with the trash bag.
Yes.
You can bring your food in. So if you can bring a sandwich and stuff, I learned that from Leica. I was like, oh, I can do that, which is what I did. So I did it. My kids it worked really good because
Yeah.
it kept them all like smooth and happy and like, okay, we have food and stuff. So we pack a bag just for food on the way there. And by food, I mean like a banana, a bar, like a
Snacks,
granola bar,
yeah.
snack. And I did have like 2 sandwiches just in case for that. So that was good. From Phoenix to Puerto Vallarta is only 2 hours. Literally it's 2 hours and 10 minutes. And that's another reason why I chose to go there, because it's only a 2 hour flight, and we've been there before, so super quick, super easy. We know the way already. But yeah, that's what happened at the airport and the plane. We get there, plane lands and everything. And by the way, the crew of American, just like any other crew, like they were great. They were really good. We get there to the airport, and they give you your immigration paper, just like any other international flight. You fill it out, 1 per family, or 2. No, I'm sorry, that's the customs, but the other one is 1 per person. Well, when you're walking there, there is a person who is going to check your temperature. We didn't fill out any health forms before getting into Mexico. So when we landed, everybody had to go through that person for a temperature check, and it looks like she has like a big tripod set up.
Okay.
And then it's an infrared thing. So, but you don't look at the thing; you just look wherever she tells you to. And then she checks your temperature, and you're good to go. We were good to go, so I don't know what happens if you're not good to go. I guess you're not coming in Mexico. And then after her is if you need to use the restroom right before seeing the immigration agent, you can do that. And then you just go and you get your bags and stuff. So after that, it's pretty normal. Again, all through with masks. And my 3-year-old did really good with that. So I was so proud of her.
That's great.
So that was really good. I think the break in the break of the food and the drink in the plane helped her, because it wasn't like a constant thing for her.
And definitely being a short flight, so that's a great tip for those of you who are planning to travel or need to travel with the kids or want to travel with the kids. Make a destination as short as possible, because that will not put them into this confined space with a mask and all these regulations going on. It's hard for us enough. Imagine for the little ones.
Kid,
like it should be really, really hard to go through a 5-6 hour flight like it's not necessary or essential.
Because it's not just your flight. It's like the minute you get to the airport to literally, not even the minute you leave the other airport, because we had to take a taxi. Everybody had their mask on.
Right.
You have to get to the hotel. We got to the hotel. Everybody had their mask on. Like, you're not taking it off until literally you're like in your room. That's it. Then it was time to go home. Time to come back.
Time to come back to reality.
And we had to do it all over again. And that was fine, because now they're coming back. Kids were like, okay, I'm ready to go home. Let's get this mask on, let's go. And it was the same thing. To leave Puerto Vallarta, there is a health form. Interestingly enough, they ask you questions about it. I'll try to show the picture here. And you, before TSA, over there, Puerto Vallarta, you show that, you have to have that with your passports. It was 1 per family. And you just have that. It asks you about COVID. Have you been around COVID? Have you been tested? So, and the person checks it, and then you're good to go. You go through TSA normal, and then you go through your gate, and that's it. And that's, once we were at the gate waiting for our plane, that's where we saw signs, sit here, or not sit here, but the ones that you consider had nothing, and then the other ones were, this seat is not available, keep your distance, social distancing, That's what we saw. And the flight was full coming back again.
Probably the same people that went with you.
Oh my God, I think everybody went through it. I was like, I think I saw you. But it was full again. I took a quick snap picture of it, because we sat almost all the way to the back. So it was a good picture, so you can see like everybody's arms on the aisle. And there was no middle seats, like on that sense. So again, Chris was behind us, and again, on this time, the middle seat was available, but it was because that person was traveling by themselves.
Alone.
So I think they happened to pair them together, because they were kind of traveling by themselves, and that's why he got the middle seat, not people sitting, but there were many people that were sitting.
Right.
Yes. But I will say though, most people that were sitting, I noticed on the way back here, were related. Because I noticed they were chatting and talking in a different way than when you talk to a stranger. That's how I noticed, at least the people around us. I don't know about the people that were sitting a little bit ahead of us, but yeah, that's what I noticed. You get here and you get, you remember, I almost forgot this when we landed, you don't have to do the immigration form because normally the computers will be there. So you don't have to, but the computers are off because they're not available because of touching. It's a touching screen, so they're not gonna touch. Strict. It all varies per country on that. So we just hope this video was helpful to some of the things that I experienced. Any questions, any comments, please put it on below on the comment section.
Yes.
And we hope you like this video. Please, we will love your thumbs up. If you didn't like it, you can give a thumbs down. That's fine. But we will love your thumbs up. If you really like this video, feel free to share with your friends, your family, your co-workers, anyone who wants to know about international travel, my experience, and the domestic travel, Leica's experience as well.
Yes, don't forget that sharing is caring. So the knowledge that we get is always great to share with other people because it might help them and it might be beneficial for other ones. So like Reggie said, don't forget to give us like, subscribe to our channel so you can get a notification when a new video comes out. And we also have our Instagram account where you can get, you know, more daily stories and other videos that we talk about and put together. So thank you for joining us today. And, you know, stay safe, have fun, and keep it going.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Ciao.